Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Under the Radar, a place where we discuss your favorite basketball players and hoopers inside and outside the NBA. Today's story is about Chet Holmgren. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why are we talking about Mr. Holmgren here? Because he is one of the best prospects in the 2022 NBA draft. Now, the question that we must answer in today's video is, how did Chet go from being an unathletic kid into becoming a possible #1 pick in the upcoming 2022 NBA draft? Let's roll the clock a bit. Chet Thomas Holmgren was born on May 1, 2002 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Growing up in Minnesota, Chet was known as an uncoordinated and unathletic kid. There was actually one time where he showed up to his very first AAU team practice with cargo shorts and a button-up polo. You heard that correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Cargo shorts and a button-up polo. For basketball? Really? And that was actually an embarrassing experience for Chet Holmgren, because sadly, his teammates would continue to make fun of him because of that experience. And this is what Chet had to say about his early AAU experience. "I showed up to the first practice in cargo shorts," as Holmgren recalls. "I was this long, lanky, awkward white dude. I looked terrible. I couldn't catch the ball, I couldn't dribble, and everybody's making fun of me. And I just wasn't ready." This is what Chet's AAU coach Brian Sandifer had to say about his first impression of Chet. "He was probably as big as a pencil at that time," Sandifer says, "but really long, frail, and really weak. It actually took a really long time and a lot of hard work and struggle for Chet to be able to become a great basketball player that truly understands the game." Chet said, "I cried after the first week of practice, every practice." Chet said, "I just couldn't handle it. But the way I was born, I was never really been somebody just to take a hit and just lay there. I'll get hit and I'll get back up." And Chet actually had a great mindset and determination to become a better basketball player. And Chet sadly did not have much playing time during his 3rd to 6th grade season. Chet had to manage growing into his body while also growing into his game. At home, Dave, his dad, who used to be a big man for the University of Minnesota, actually taught Chet some big man fundamentals like how to box out for a rebound and how to avoid fouling with your body when you're blocking shots as a big. And meanwhile, with Coach Sandifer, Chet would actually spend most of his time trying to play like his buddy Jalen Suggs, who was a grade ahead of him at that time. And during games, Chet would actually watch Jalen's footwork, and in practices, Chet would also try his best to mimic Suggs' shooting and moves. And this is what Chet had to say about that. "People think it's important to be scoring like 45 points a game by 3rd grade, but it's not." Chet said, "Learning how to play basketball is important. I learned fundamentals. I was a project, but people were willing to take time with me. They turned a pile of bricks into a house. Actually, I wasn't even a pile of bricks. I was whatever you make bricks out of." In the 6th grade, Chet would actually follow Jalen to Minnehaha, a prestigious private Christian school, and he was actually 6'2" at the time. And he spent part of the first season rehabbing from his broken wrist injury. Chet actually used the injury as an opportunity to expand his shooting range, even though Chet's skills were expanding. But Chet was still too skinny and too much of a project as a low-post player to be a part of the rotation. And for the next few years, he actually used his time on the bench as an opportunity to refine his three-point shooting and ball handling skills. And by his grade 9 season, he had sprouted another 7 inches, and he started to see playing time on the varsity level. And he was primarily a defensive specialist, but he managed to put up averages of 6.2 points and 3 rebounds per game. Whereas many big men develop on a single track, focus on a low post fundamentals like over-the-shoulder shots and rebounding positions, Holmgren has developed on parallel tracks. Like, he has simultaneously learned about the brute force necessary to be a big and the finesse necessary to be the guard. And the parallel tracks actually held them back until his sophomore year, when all of his work behind the scenes led to a breakout season. Chet would have amazing averages of 18.6 points and 11 rebounds per game, as he would help Minnehaha win their 3rd straight state title, and he would earn a lot of Division I offers that were starting to pour in for him. But Chet was still very humble. Chet said, "Handling all the attention has meant it pushing away and not focusing on it." Chet says if you pay too much attention to it, it'll get to you. And I try to be the same person I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and I'm the same goofy, hardworking person I've always been. On January 4, 2020, as a junior in high school, Holmgren would record 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 blocks in a nationally televised victory over Sierra Canyon, who had players like Bronny James, Brandon Boston Jr., and Zaire Williams. And in his junior season of high school, Mr. Holmgren here would average 14.3 points per game while also leading Minnehaha to a 25-3 record. As a senior in high school, Mr. Holmgren here would average 21 points and 12.3 rebounds a game, as Holmgren would win his 4th state title with Minnehaha. And he was named the Gatorade National Player of the Year, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, and Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year, and a McDonald's All-American, and Minnesota Mr. Basketball, and ended his high school basketball career with a bang. This is what his best bud and fellow under-the-radar member Jalen Suggs had to say about Chet. "We thought he'd be good," Suggs says. "We just didn't know that he'd be this good, and we didn't know he'd be this tall. I can't wait to see what's next." Chet was of course a 5-star recruit across all recruiting platforms like ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rivals, having offers from Gonzaga University, the University of Georgetown, the University of Memphis, the University of Michigan, and his dad's alma mater, University of Minnesota, University of North Carolina, and Ohio State University. And Chet decided to follow Jalen yet again to Gonzaga University. In Chet's college debut, he would score 14 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks, and 6 assists in a victory against Dixie State. And Chet actually became the first player in 25 years to record at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in his college debut. And on November 22, the 7-foot freshman would finish with 19 points, 7 of 9 shooting, with a perfect 3 from 3 from the free throw line at the conclusion of the regular season. Holmgren was actually named the WCC Conference Defensive Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. And at the NCAA tournament, Holmgren would score 19 points, 17 rebounds, 7 blocks, and 5 assists in their opening round victory against Georgia State. As a freshman in college, he would average 14.1 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 3.7 blocks per game, shooting an incredible 39% from 3. Ladies and gentlemen, is that normal for a big? Hail to the no! On April 21, 2022, Holmgren declared for the 2022 NBA Draft, foregoing his remaining college eligibility. Chet is a unique prospect who is a rare unicorn who can do everything on the court. At 7 feet tall with exceptional length, he's an agile, skinny, and lanky center who dominates in the paint. And he is a force as a shot blocker, and he plays like a small forward on offense. He is a lethal 3-point shooter with great accuracy and a nearly unguardable shot. I mean, come on, the dude is so tall. But all that together, he is one of the most intriguing players in the draft who has the real shot of going number 1 overall. Chet is very skinny, but his quickness, coordination, footwork, agility are outstanding. And actually, he has great anticipation and reaction speed and reaction time. His length, quick hands literally make him a really great shot blocker, even if he gets bullied in the post and he moves out the way. He doesn't have a frame that will add weight easily, but he'll always be a skinny big. Despite his lack of strength and weight, he controls the paint on the defensive side, and he's technically a legit rim protector. Maybe the best in the nation in college right now. And on the offensive side, Chet really shows incredible talent as a face-up scorer, and he can really shoot the ball from deep, and he also has incredible handles for a player his size. I mean, come on. The only person I can think of that I've ever seen as a big with ball handling skills and absolute wizardry is Nikola Jokic. And that is great company to be with. And not only that, Chet also has a great dribble drive game. Yes, he's not a powerful post player or back to the basket scorer, but he has a elite scoring ability on the wing. Just imagine a 7-foot small forward. Wouldn't that be crazy? Now that is something we, ladies and gentlemen, including me, have never seen before. And Chet actually has an easy, effortless shooting stroke, and he can also shoot off the dribble effortlessly, and he has a beautiful pull-up 3 game. And his 3-point shooting ability is a natural fit towards today's NBA. And this 3-point shooting ability could be one of his primary ways of scoring once he scores at the next level. And in many ways, Chet is like a 7-foot small forward who also happens to be a great shot blocker. Now that is broken. His skill set is very perimeter oriented and will likely to be even more once he gets to the next level. And I can't compare Chet towards any player in NBA history because he is a unicorn. He is a hybrid with a skill set that has never been seen before. And his success is really dependent on the amount of weight he can place on himself and the muscle growth and all the muscles that he can accumulate through the years that he is in the NBA. And the team that particularly drafts him, which could possibly most likely be Orlando, needs to be very patient with him because he is a project. And if, ladies and gentlemen, and if he is successful, his development, Chet's development is successful, you are potentially looking at a future NBA superstar, all-star, whatchamacallit. You can make your own analysis, but you get what I'm saying, alright? So good luck in the draft, Chet. I am rooting for you, dude. God bless you, your dad, and the rest of your family. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited for next week. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that amazing like button and make it turn blue if you enjoyed today's video. And hit that amazing, sensational red subscribe button to join this amazing, growing basketball family. New basketball videos out every single Friday, and I do not want y'all to miss it. God bless, stay safe, enjoy your weekend with your family while watching basketball no matter where you are, and see you all next week. Bye-bye!